I never speak with certitude. I speak with, could this be? Hypothesis, theory, ideas. Like, wow, could this be this and could this be that? And one of the things that I know is that John is the last writer in the four Gospels. And he actually wrote after Paul. So because of that, he's got a really unique perspective. And he writes in a way that is very intentional. And nothing is missed. No little detail is missed. So you might be just reading it. And as you read through it, it's like, blah, 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 blah. But you got to look at it deep. Because he's not doing it throwing the information out there. It's all intentional and purposeful what he's writing and why he's writing it. And I just want to set the table with that right now. Chapter 20, John chapter 20, verse 11. But Mary stood outside by the tomb. Now remember, this is Peter and John have already ran up, seen, looked inside, and then ran back, right? Now Mary stays. Mary Magdalene stays. And she stood outside by the tomb weeping. And as she wept, she stooped down and looked into the tomb. And she saw two angels in white sitting. Now this is important right here. Two angels in white sitting. One at the head and the other at the feet. One was standing at the head, the other at the feet, where the body of Jesus had lain. When they said to her, "Woman, why are you weeping?" She said to them, "Because they have taken away my Lord, and I do not know where they've laid him." So this is really powerful. She's talking to angels, and she's unaware that they're angels. And she's talking about Jesus, who she's unaware has risen. Even though he was very clear. For us looking back into that time, it's like he probably told them 10 different times he was going to lay in a grave, come out 3 days later. But it just shows you that they didn't know it. They didn't really know it. They might have heard him, but they could not perceive that. It's easy to be on this side of history and look over that and think, wow, why didn't they know that? Well, I mean, they live in a real world, you know. I mean, it's when here's what I really love about it. Let me read this next verse and show you something. This is something I think is going to give you some grace. Watch this. So they said to her, "Why?" And she said, "Because they have taken away my Lord, and I do not know where they've laid him." So she does not believe at this point in resurrection. She believes that the body has been stolen and been reburied somewhere. Verse 14. Now when she said this, she turned around and saw Jesus standing there, but did not know that it was Jesus. So this is something that just for some reason stood out to me today. Good morning, Taylor. You know, there's a lot of doctrinal or theological teachers out there that say you must know, you must understand, and you must get it so that you can walk in it. And if you don't really understand it and you don't really get it, then you're not walking in it. And somehow in a performance-based religion, God's angry with you because you don't get it. Will you just get it? Will you just grow up and get it? And there is something true to, we should want to get it. But I think that this is such a powerful perspective because Mary does not get it. She's been told it. She's been showed it. I mean, I had a lady one time in Arizona come and attack Gail and attack me afterwards because I said something about Judas not getting it, and giving a little bit of grace to Judas because he didn't really get what they were going to do to Jesus. And so that's why it throws the money back at their feet. And this lady came and just berated Gail. Your husband must know, and he must teach the truth that Judas did know it, because let me show you. And she pulled out her Bible and showed where Jesus directly told Judas. I'm like, yep. And he still didn't know it. And he still didn't get it. And that's the point. Jesus told him multiple times, it's better for you that I go away to my Father so that I can come back and that I can leave with you the Holy Spirit. I'm going to be away. Everything as much as, listen, I'm going to die on Friday and I'm going to go sit in a grave for 3 days and I'm going to come back. He did everything but just blatantly say it. And they did not get it. And that's okay with Jesus. You would think almost, like because Mary didn't get it, that somehow Jesus would be mad at her. And be like, oh man, what's wrong with you? I told you. Well, Mary, I really thought you would have gotten it. I really thought you would have understood it. But she didn't. So instead of being angry with her, he just moves right past it and loves her anyhow. And I want you to know today that it's okay if sometimes you don't get it. I hope that in your heart that you continue to pursue it and continue to want to get it and learn more. We should always be growing. The worst thing you do is come to a place in your life of certitude and decide you never want to learn anything else. I hope you continue to grow, but it's okay if sometimes you miss it. And it's okay that sometimes you don't get it, because Jesus still gets you and loves you and wants to continue to minister to you right where you are. Because listen to Jesus' response. Jesus says, woman, why are you weeping? Whom are you seeking? She's talking to Jesus, but she thinks he's a gardener. She, supposing him to be a gardener, said to him, sir, if you carried him away, tell me where you have laid him, and I will take him away. And Jesus said to her, Mary. She turned to him and said, Rabbi, which is to say teacher. And now it all dawns on her. Come on, oh my gosh, this is not the deep part of the message today, but somebody just needs to hear this. She turns around, she goes into a tomb, sees two angels, one at the head and one at the feet. Angels. And she doesn't know that they're angels. She turns around, runs smack into Jesus, and thinks he's a gardener. And says, where have you laid him? Please just tell me where you've laid him so I could go back and get him and put him. She doesn't believe in resurrection. She's thinking carnally. She doesn't get it. And Jesus says her name, speaks her name. Now understand, this is the same thing Jesus did to Mary when he first encounters Mary. He calls her by her name, Mary, and it breaks her. This is so good, so deep. I just want you to know that even if you miss it, and even if you don't get it, he still speaks your name. He still knows how to reach you right where you are. And he loves you. That's good. He knows you by your name. He knows you even in your faults. He knows you when you don't get it all. He knows you when you don't understand. He knows you when you miss it. He knows you when you're blind. He knows you when you're stupid. He knows you when you're down. He knows you when you're out. He knows you by your name, and he loves you right where you are. You don't have to figure it all out to walk with him. You don't have to know it all to walk with him. He'll walk with you even when you don't understand it all. You don't have to be a deep theologian to have an intimate relationship with Christ. You don't have to have the doctrine of it all figured out. You don't have to. We went through a season in Christendom where it's the confession of your mouth, and there's some good stuff with that. But then people would start shaming each other. Oh, don't let that come out of your mouth. Oh my goodness, don't say that. Don't receive that. Don't speak that over your life. And the issue is they're not wrong. They're not wrong. But you know what? Jesus knows that you don't always get it. Jesus knows that you may not understand. And he loves you anyhow. And he's going to meet you right where you are. This is what grace means. Jesus meeting you right where you are and right where you need him. And all you need to do is keep turning to him. Keep believing and keep walking back to his arms. Just keep turning to him. Don't belittle yourself. Don't think that you can't have a relationship with him of intimacy. Don't put yourself down. Don't consider yourself less than, that you can't speak about him. There's so many people that hold back even sharing their faith with people because I don't have it all figured out. That's right, you don't. And you never will. And neither do I. And yet we keep speaking truth. Because all we can speak is what we know. And what we know is that Jesus is life. And he is love. And he loves me. And he loves you. And that's the good news. And he'll meet you right where you are. And that's all that matters. God bless you guys. Have a great day. I love you. Please come back tomorrow. Put it in your calendar. Put in your reminder. I'm telling you, tomorrow is going to knock you so in the heart tomorrow morning.